the new administration, what kind of changes have come? What kind of changes are coming? Because I've even heard there might be something going on or potential elimination of the 1031 exchange, which would really hit a lot of the investors that are, you can sell a like and similar building, for example, if you're up in a northern state and you say, hey, I want to sell this strip mall that I own or this apartment building, but I want to move it down to Florida. I want to exchange it down here in Florida. You can identify a property while you're in escrow, and then it allows you not to pay taxes on the gains that you have there. So I've heard, different rumors. I haven't seen particularly anything that's come out, but I want to focus maybe a little bit on, what's changed with the new administration. What do you think might change, and what are the potential impacts of that? Patrick, right here in studio, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I've been paying attention to this quite a bit and doing some research, and oddly enough, I have some stuff that is, most of the stuff from a tax standpoint has just been proposed and talked about or hearsay at this point. Obviously, nothing has been implemented yet. That's going to take, some time. But with respect to the capital gains, that is something that is on the table about wanting to tax people on capital gains on their home while they still own it before they've actually incurred it. That's something I've seen as of recently, which
wow.
I don't know how you track that, because how are you going to base the value, and values can go down. So
yeah.
Taxing capital gains before you realized it. But here's some of the things that are that in a conversation I had with a tax professional just recently.
Mm-hmm.
Individual income tax up to 40%, capital gains to over 40%, elimination of the self-employment tax limit to $137,000, corporate tax rates, so your C corps up to 28%, partial child tax credits, reparation of profits, energy tax incentives, itemized deductions would come back, and then some healthcare changes. So those will be more defined, as the House and the Senate actually gets to work.
Because those can't be implemented just with an executive order, can they?
Some of them can.
Some of them can.
Yeah, some of them can. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Just like with the re-entering the Paris Climate Accord. I mean, right off the bat, I was listening to Phil Grande's show. He was saying it was a $1,500 for a hit for every family now, mm-hmm. as a tax to help China pay for their or whatever. And
the scary thing, in an interview that Schumer just had, he was talking about calling the climate change an emergency. Right. Executive orders that would then give a lot more flexibility for them to make changes and amendments to things. So that
yeah, they're looking for a crisis. They want to create a crisis so they can start having these radical changes, and and it's like the Patriot Act revisited now because there's all of a sudden all this domestic terrorism. Come on.
Right. It's it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but all we can do is focus in on the things that we can control, which is our own personal businesses and our own community, and support your local businesses and your local community and have an impact locally. I mean, we're blessed to be in Florida. We have an incredible governor here that has really taken care of us and been very outspoken with some of the proposed restrictions of travel to the state.
And big tech.
Yeah, and big tech.
That was a big one.
That was another big one of the imposed fines of $100,000 per day.
Yeah.
For censorship. I mean, it was a great way to apply logic. You as a consumer, you can choose to follow that individual or not.
Exactly.
So you have your own personal censorship. We don't need
That's right.
big tech to censor on our behalf.
Exactly. Doug, same question to you. New administration, new changes, new rules.
Man, great info from Patrick. I think the thing I'll just add, which I love, again, piggybacking on a little bit, is control what you can control. Be educated, but don't be fearful, I think is a thing. I think it's probably just always a good move in business, in life, in sports, right? I mean, all these analogies that kind of run together here. I mean, I love the idea of just, supporting your local economy, supporting your local business. I'll say just on the insurance front, right? Again, thank you, Patrick, for all that great info on sort of the tax front. I just read something the other day that they're opening up the quote-unquote Obamacare open enrollment. So, and again, look, we probably all lean, I would think, more conservative on this channel and show, and I love just independent thought in general. So while I don't like a lot of the things that the current administration is doing in the Biden administration, and I'm not a fan of Obamacare, I'll say that as an insurance guy, right, going way back. One thing that I know is an issue is access to health insurance, and it's expensive, right? If we just say that. Now, somebody's got to pay for it, and there's lots of things, but what it looks like right now is they're going to open up an open enrollment period starting this month through May. That is another thing, and what that means is, let's say you're someone who has a major health condition and you can't get health insurance traditionally because the carrier won't write you, and maybe you don't have access to a group policy. It could be an option. So people can check out healthcare.gov, right? And that's typically direct right through, healthcare.gov. It's kind of a portal. It's a channel where people can go on, get some rates and info. Now, challenge is a lot of times you're not working with an agent, kind of what we just talked about, or you're not working with someone local who can say, hey, I got your back. I'm your guy. But again, it's one more access for people to get potentially get some health insurance. So that's literally something I just caught wind of in Insurance Business America the other day, and people can go to healthcare.gov and check it out for themselves right now.
Yeah, I think I'll piggyback on that too with what, and by the way, if you just joined us, I'm Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host. We've got Patrick MORAITES in studio, local PEO, local small business access group, Doug LEVI on the phones, on Zoom as well. Doug LEVI, local, right here in Tampa Bay, strategic insurance. He's got his insurance side hustling I want to talk about here as well. But yeah, I like the verse where it's, rejoice in the day, the Lord has made. I mean, it's still a great time. We're alive. We're in America. We're in the best country on the planet. So we don't we're pointing out some of the negative things just because you have to think about that, but definitely, we're positive, upbeat people, and we're just telling you as a business owner, these are the things to consider and take into to account. But yeah, people are still, dying to get into this country, and we see it happen. It's such a great place to be, and we really want to conserve it. That's what we're, kind of saying. We want to make it, keep it to where we have the values, and not, the transsexuals in sports and all these different things. Those are all distractions, and it's scary, and it's different. But now more than ever, we got to band together, work locally, focus on biblical reasoning and ideas. And I was just listening to a great podcast, and he was saying, vote. Some of the preachers from the pulpit say, vote your values. No, vote God's values. You really want to think about that and have that apply to your life. And as a business person, sometimes they say, oh, well, you shouldn't say that on the air. You might want to focus that or tone that down. Well, I'm at the point where in my life where I'm going to say what I feel and what I know is right. And that's what we do. And that's how we guide our businesses as well.
Amen. And I think that's a real quick note. I think a core foundational principle of our country is free speech.
Yes.
And the idea that we live in an amazing country that has God-given inalienable rights to all people, no matter your color, your race, your creed, and all that.
That's right.
But you look, and I know we line up in a lot of ways, Brandon, but, our founding fathers were people of faith. I mean, they came here as people of faith. And just the thought in general that censorship could be an issue moving forward, Patrick I thought so well put it. You don't like somebody on Twitter, guess what? Just unfollow them.
That's right.
You don't like somebody on AM 860? Turn the radio station down. This idea of government intervention or big tech intervention, I think it's something we all need to keep our eyes on. And I know you're a Tony Robbins guy, Brandon. Tony Robbins doesn't say, don't say there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds.
Yeah.
But find those weeds, pull them out, right? Do what you can about your garden, right? So it's, be aware of what's going on, and then say, okay, I don't care what you're throwing at me, government, whatever's going on, business, health, whatever. What can I do about it? How can I make a positive impact and turn that classic lemon into lemonades? And I think that's something we all need more of, frankly.
Well, speaking of positive impacts, when we come back, we're going to talk about 2 Louisiana sanitation workers who save a kidnapped girl. We're going to also end with our expert contributors, their top advice, their top nuggets of advice, best tips going forward in 2021. Coming up right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So stay with us. Find out about this awesome story and our feel-good story of the day. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page. Please support the show, consumerqb.com, and we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.